Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. This one is a tiny watercolor. It's been a while since I've done one this size and I really miss it. Like I say a lot, it's just really pleasant to be able to sit down and do a piece and have it done in a fairly short amount of time. It's just kind of like an instant gratification thing, but it's just really fun. And I love tiny things, so I love having tiny artwork. It's pleasant. It makes me happy. But anyways, for this first part, I'm doing it pretty much like that, the earlier watercolor one that I just did, where I'm using the light box to transfer it on and I'm skipping the pencil step, so I'm not having to erase the pencils after I ink it, and that way the paper stays as perfect as possible for painting on top of. You definitely want to avoid erasing on watercolor paper as much as possible because it can affect the texture when you're painting on it, and that's not good. But the two ink pens that I'm using in this, I'm using two, and the first one that I started with is a micron pen, and I believe it's like a 0.01, I think. I don't remember exactly, but it is a micron pen, and I did that for some of the more specific small details, like in her face, and then I also used it to add a few extra like locks in her hair and details in her clothing. And yeah, the micron is really great for when I'm working on a tiny piece like this because I need to have the line work very precise and exactly what I want it to. But for the more flowy lines, I use my Pentel Pocket Brush pen, and I think I got really rusty with that one. It's been a little while since I've actually used that pen because I've been using my microns for a little while now, and the Pocket Brush pen is amazing. It's really fluid. But for me, it's something that I definitely have to get practice on. It's not something that really works very intuitively because I have to have a very delicate touch to get the kind of stroke that I want. So when I was working on it for this piece, it ended up being a lot blotchier and thicker for the lines than I wanted. And it was just, I'm a little bit rusty. I haven't used it in a little while, so I kind of lost touch with the sensitivity that I need to be using when I'm using this pen. So it was a good reminder to get back into practicing it because I really do love it, and I love the effect when I'm able to use it right. So that's kind of why I went back in with the micron, to add a few more defining strokes in her hair and stuff so that I could have something that was really fine compared to the really thick lines that were defining the edges of her hair. So what's happening right now is actually my absolute favorite part of this piece, and it's why I actually designed this one, because I got the set of Finetec gold paint. I don't remember exactly what it's called. I'll put a link down where I bought mine in the description, but yeah, I wanted a piece that I could use this gold paint on. I love using gold in my pieces. I know it's probably obvious because I try to use it in like every opportunity that I have, but yeah, it's a really gorgeous paint. I loved it. One thing that was interesting though that I was kind of surprised at is when I'd watched other people use it, it went on really, really thick, and when I was first using it, practicing, not on this piece but before, it came out really, really transparent, and that was kind of frustrating, and I didn't know why it was not nearly as opaque as it looked when other people used it. And it's actually because you have to put water on top of it and let it soak into the paint first rather than mixing it kind of like you would watercolor. And once I did that, when I let the water sit on top and then soak into the ink, the actual pigment, well, I think it's mica, maybe? Anyways, it came up a lot better, so I was able to put it much more opaquely on my piece, and I was able to get that really gold finish to it. So when I started designing her and sketching out this piece, I knew that I really wanted to be inspired by Byzantine artwork, and I absolutely love Byzantine work. It's really gorgeous, and they use a lot of gold like this, and it felt really right for this piece. And I also really wanted her to feel very serene, but also kind of withdrawn and sad. And I did that by basing her colors a very cool tone. So she's mostly blues and a little bit of purples. So I did really want her to look very forlorn and then to have this very bright gold behind her. And I thought that it would make a good contrast. And yeah, I really like how those two aspects come together. And I love contrast and duality and finding ways that I can put that into my piece. And yeah, I really enjoyed that, especially in such a small piece like this where I was able to show two sides of something. And for the final touches I did on this piece, I actually using just ink out of the bottle and my really fine liner brush, And I think that's probably going to be my next adventure in line work. I'm really excited about trying out a lot of different methods for creating my line work, and I think this one will be really fun and something that'll give me a lot more control over the final product. So I really enjoy that. I like having control, so I'm excited about this and I'm excited about trying that out. And that is pretty much it for this piece, and this is how she turned out. She definitely looks a lot better in real life, and you can see the gold glinting in the light. It's just, I really love her. But I do have the original of her up on the shop, so if you want to check her out, there's a button right below me. But thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can catch all my future art videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!